Surprise, Otherworld! I'm not here to slay the dragon. I'm here to launch a RICO investigation. James Doakes didn't remember closing his eyes. 1 second, there was a cabin, stinking of gasoline and rotting wood. Dexter's face, calm, stupidly calm, in the doorway. And then the world became fire. No time for a last thought. No time for a prayer. Just heat. So much heat, his nerves didn't even have a chance to properly report it. For a blink, he was nothing but brightness and noise and the shockwave tearing his body apart. Then, silence. Silence and dark. Not pitch black, more like standing in the middle of a huge, empty warehouse where the lights never got turned on. A sense of space without edges. Doakes tried to breathe and realized he didn't have to. That pissed him off. He flexed his hands. They moved.
Where the hell?
Brave warrior.
The voice echoed from everywhere at once. Calm, warm, too rehearsed. Doakes straightened up, rolling his shoulders. His body felt light, like he'd had the first full night of sleep in a decade. He still didn't like it.
Who said that? Step out where I can see you.
Fear not. You are between worlds. Your mortal shell was destroyed, but your soul...
Destroyed? You mean blown the hell up by some skinny lab geek who moonlights as a serial killer?
The voice paused.
Yes, that.
Yeah, that. And now apparently I'm in some cosmic holding cell doing exit interviews. I swear, if this is some purgatory orientation video...
You misunderstand. You have been chosen.
Oh, hell no.
The word chosen did something to him. It scraped at something deep. The way Captain Matthews used to say, "You've been recommended," and then hand him a pile of crap work nobody else wanted.
Your soul has been selected to be reborn in another realm, a world of magic and monsters, to stand against the rising demon king and bring...
Stop. Stop right there.
The void actually dimmed a notch, like someone had backed away from a mic. Doakes jabbed a finger into the nothing.
I just died because some skinny nerd murderer blew me up in a goddamn shack. I was this close to putting cuffs on that psycho, and now you're telling me instead of heaven, or hell, or whatever comes next, I'm getting shipped off to another hellhole with magic and monsters?
The term hellhole is relative.
Send me on. St. Peter, flames, reincarnate me as a squirrel, I don't care. Let me go. I did my time.
Your ledger is complicated. However, your skills are needed. This world
needs a therapist, not me.
The darkness pulsed.
You are a hunter of evil. You pursued monsters even when they wore human faces.
Yeah, and?
In this new realm, monstrosities roam free. Villages burn. The demon king gathers armies. Many souls have been summoned, but few possess your discipline, your intensity.
Say it. I'm an asshole.
You are uncompromising. In another life, you were bound by the laws of your city, by procedure, by paperwork.
The way the voice said paperwork made it sound like the vilest curse it knew.
In this world, your drive can save thousands. I would grant you a divine gift, a power befitting...
Hell no.
Another pause.
You refuse power?
I don't need your anime bullshit. I don't need glowing swords or sacred bloodlines or friendship beams. I just need a damn gun and my badge.
The void seemed genuinely confused.
A gun.
A Glock, badges, due process, a proper chain of command. I'm not your chosen hero, I'm a cop. You want me to work? You put me on a case. You don't draft me into Final Fantasy.
This world has no firearms.
Magic?
Yes.
Monsters?
Many.
Demon King?
Correct.
Dragons?
On occasion.
Of course there are dragons. Why not? Look, you're clearly the one with the clipboard here. What are you anyway? God? Angel? HR?
The void brightened faintly, as if embarrassed.
I am an overseer, a custodian of many worlds. The terms you use, God, angel, are imprecise.
Overseer. So you're middle management.
The overseer went quiet for a beat.
I maintain balance, and right now, Balance requires someone like you in that world. I can grant you strength beyond what you knew, magic that shapes reality, skills that…
Stop trying to sell me superpowers. You know why you're so eager to juice me up? 'Cause you know this is a raw deal.
It is a great responsibility.
Yeah, a great responsibility you're slapping onto a guy who just got blown into pieces by a serial killer he was right about the entire time. I spent years covered in other people's blood, watching my city rot from the inside while everyone smiled for the cameras. I finally get taken out, and you want to tell me the prize behind door number 3 is unpaid overtime in Narnia?
The void stayed silent. Doakes laughed once, sharp.
Send me forward, back, wherever. Let me see my old man. Let me see whatever's next. I did the work.
You did. You did more than most. That is why you were chosen.
That's not a reward. That's punishment wrapped in flattery.
The void dimmed, then, slowly, brightened again, taking on a faint suggestion of shape. A horizon. A sky with no stars.
If I send you forward, your story ends. Completely. No more chances. No returning. No justice for the one who ruined your final days.
What did you say?
Dexter Morgan continues to kill. Your city continues to bleed. Had you lived, you might have stopped him. You did not. Your death was exploited.
Exploited.
In the stream of things, I am not supposed to interfere with such details, but I thought you would want to know.
He did. He hated that he did, but he did.
Don't talk to me about streams of things. Either you can do something or you can't. Which is it?
About that world? Very little. About the one I wish to send you to? Much. And the more stable that world becomes, the more leverage I possess in others. The closer things come to balance. In time…
Spit it out.
In time, it may become possible to adjust certain events, redirect certain rivers before they lead to explosions in shacks.
So I bust my ass in Magic Land. I help you clean up some Demon King mess. And maybe you push some cosmic paperwork and give me a shot at fixing what went wrong. At stopping Dexter before he racks up more bodies.
Not maybe. I do not lie, Sergeant Doakes. I cannot resurrect you as you were, but I can influence events so you gain some semblance of justice. Within parameters, of course.
The hell is that supposed to mean? I take the gig and hope you Rube Goldberg Dexter's ass in a cell.
That is an oversimplification, but it is also the only semblance of influence I can enact on the living. If this is not suitable, you can simply move on.
That was the bitch of it. He could walk away. Finally rest. Let some other poor bastard deal with monsters in alleys. Let Dexter keep carving and know nobody was coming. Or he could go to a place with elves and dragons and a demon king, with no gun, no badge, no Miranda rights, just his fists and his temper, and start again. Doakes rubbed his face.
Damn it. Fine. Let's say I bite. You drop me into Lord of the Rings. I do your dirty work. We both know I'm going to need more than a mean stare and decent right hook.
So you accept a gift?
Don't get excited. I said I'm not taking your sparkly anime powers, but you are going to give me what I need to do my job.
Which is?
I told you. A gun and my badge.
Firearms would unbalance things. They do not exist there. Introducing one would…
So fudge it. You're a cosmic landlord. You can bend something. You got swords made of light and skeleton horses and all that crap. But a pistol is where you draw the line?
The metaphysics.
What you can do is make sure my body works the way I need it to. I don't care if the ogres are bigger or the demons shoot fire. You put me at the top of the human curve and let me handle it.
You already are near the top. Your conditioning was impressive.
Then push it. I don't need flying, no laser eyes, just no more waking up feeling like my joints are broken. I want to move like I'm 30 on my best day, every day. Stronger than I was, faster than I was, but it's still me. Save the cheat codes, keep me honest.
That is acceptable.
And the gun?
A facsimile, not a true firearm. A conduit shaped like one, channeling force instead of burning powder. It will feel familiar. It will behave similarly. But it will be bound to your will, not to bullets.
A magic gun.
A tool, one only you can properly wield. To others, it will be inert.
He sighed.
And the badge?
I do not understand what function.
The function is that I don't go into this as some damn chosen hero errand boy. I go in as what I am, a cop. That little piece of metal means something, even if nobody else knows the department.
Done. You will arrive with your symbol and your tool. Your body will be restored, refined. No divine skill trees, no chosen blood. Only you.
Then let's get something straight. You're not my god. You're not my boss. You're a dispatcher. You put me on the scene and I'll handle my end. You want the Demon King gone? Fine. I'll see what I can do.
Agreed, Sergeant. Good hunting.
The floor vanished. Gravity grabbed him by the spine and yanked. He fell through light, a rushing tunnel of color that felt like being flushed down a cosmic toilet. Wind howled past his ears. In the blur, he caught flashes. Pine trees, mountain ranges, a city of spires, something huge and scaled coiling through clouds. Then he hit something soft, wet, and very real. Mud. He landed hard on his back in a forest clearing, air whooshing out of lungs that were suddenly very interested in oxygen again.
Ugh.
Doakes hit the mud hard enough to splash half the clearing. For a moment, he just lay there, staring up at a sky that wasn't his. A sky too bright, too blue, too wide, with clouds shaped wrong and a sun that seemed just a shade too white. He breathed. Air rushed into lungs that felt brand new. The scent was crisp, cold, tinted with pine and something floral he couldn't place. Definitely not Miami. He pushed himself up on his elbows, then onto his feet, boots sinking slightly in the soft earth. His clothes were the same ones he'd died in. His body felt different, lighter, sharper, too alive. But he wasn't ready to think about that yet. He wiped the mud from his face with the back of his hand and took a slow, measuring look around the clearing. Tall trees, thick canopy, ferns and moss, sunlight slanting through in gold bars. No traffic, no sirens, no ocean, no buildings, no Dexters. Just a forest that didn't belong to any map he knew.
What fresh bullshit is this?
No answer, only the quiet. Heavy, expectant, almost listening. He squared his shoulders. Whatever this place was, whatever game that cosmic pencil pusher thought he was dropping him into, Doakes wasn't planning on rolling over for it. He'd figure it out, one step at a time. He took that first step. The leaves shifted underfoot. The trees leaned like they were paying attention. James Doakes didn't care. He kept walking. Chapter 2. Tools of the Job. The forest wasn't loud, but it wasn't silent either. Little noises moved beneath the canopy. Leaves settling. Branches creaking. Some distant creature making a low, guttural sound Doakes didn't like. He stood alone in a clearing of tall pines and knee-high ferns, mud still drying on his jeans. He exhaled once, rolled his shoulders, and started patting himself down.
All right. If that cosmic desk jockey kept his word, then...
His hand brushed something hard and angular at his right hip. Doakes froze. Then he pulled it free. Not a Glock, not even close. He stared at the weapon in his hand. A revolver, old-fashioned, heavy steel frame, 6 chamber notches, longer barrel than he liked. A gun out of a Western, not Miami Metro.
Oh, hell no. This looks like some cowboy-ass museum piece.
He swung it sideways. Hip holster. Hip holster. Doakes' eye twitched.
I don't wear no damn hip holster. Is that overseer clown kidding me? I ain't some sheriff from 1864.
He looked around for anything he could use, found a sturdy branch, some thick bark strips, and yanked free one of the leather straps from the hip holster. Within minutes, after muttering several creative and anatomically impossible insults, he'd fashioned a crude but sturdy shoulder rig. He slid the revolver under his arm, adjusted the straps around his torso, tugged twice, then rolled his shoulders. It fit. Not perfect, but close enough to his old harness.
Now that's better. I ain't walking around like no damn gunslinger.
He stretched once more, feeling the new body respond like a finely tuned instrument. No pain, no tightness.
Let's see what the hell this thing actually does.
He drew the revolver again and flicked open the cylinder with a practiced motion. Inside were 6 bullets, except they weren't bullets. Not brass casings, not metal tips. They were shimmering things, solid but glowing faintly, like tiny molten orbs trapped in shells of glass.
The hell?
He angled the gun downward and tapped the back of the cylinder with his palm. Nothing fell out. He tapped harder. Still nothing. Finally, he flipped the whole revolver upside down and shook it like a condiment bottle in a diner. The bullets didn't budge. They sat perfectly still, like they were glued in place, or grown into place.
What kind of Mickey Mouse nonsense?
He closed the cylinder with a click.
This thing better work.
He picked a nearby rock, not too big, not too small, a good 20 paces away. He raised the revolver, sighted with one eye closed, and squeezed the trigger. The sound wasn't gunpowder, not fire, not metal slamming metal. More like a deep, compressed impact, like a shockwave wearing gunshot cosplay. The rock cracked straight down the middle, chunks bursting outward.
Damn, that's got some kick.
He tilted the revolver up and examined it, rotating the barrel.
Not bad at all. But if I'm supposed to be facing dragons and demon kings and all that other fantasy cartoon bullshit,
He looked at the rock.
gonna need more punch than that.
He wasn't even done saying the words when the hammer on the revolver glowed. A soft, brilliant white. Then brighter. Then pulsing. Doakes blinked.
The hell you doing back there?
He thumbed the hammer experimentally. The glow sharpened.
Jesus.
He fanned the hammer once. A blast erupted from the barrel. Pure kinetic force. No flame, no bullet. Just an invisible hammer of pressure that vaporized the cracked rock into a cloud of white dust. He stared. Then he fanned it again. Another blast. A small tree splintered into confetti. Once more. A stump disintegrated into a crater. Now Doakes looked at the gun the way a strict father might look at a child who suddenly performed a backflip.
Ain't that a bitch?
He fanned the hammer a few more times experimentally, testing the recoil, the timing, the light. Each shot was devastating. Not shotgun devastating, cannon devastating.
This magic shit might not be too bad.
Still holding the gun, he hesitated. His mind flashed back. That last second in the cabin. The gasoline smell. The heat swallowing him. Fire eating everything he was. He didn't want to remember it. But he did. And as that memory burned in his chest, the hammer on the revolver began to glow again. But this time, not white. Blue. A deep, bright, supernatural blue flame licked across the metal and concentrated at the hammer's tip. Doakes swallowed.
Well, shit. Only one way to see.
He fanned it. A roaring jet of blue fire blasted from the barrel, scorching a line across the forest floor. Leaves ignited instantly. Bark blistered. A young sapling became ash in seconds. The flame didn't bow to wind. It didn't flicker. It was like a welding torch made of anger. Doakes jerked his arm back.
Jesus.
He stared at the scorched line, at the glowing steel, at the tiny trail of smoke curling from the cylinder.
I'll be damned. This magic shit really ain't too bad.
He holstered the weapon under his arm with a proud, practiced motion. Now that he'd handled the gun, he started patting himself down again.
All right, Overseer. If you were telling the truth, then...
His fingers brushed something flat and metal in his front pocket. He pulled it out. His badge. Worn, scratched, familiar. He stared at it, thumb tracing the engraving. Miami Metro Police, Sergeant J. Doakes. Just seeing it steadied something inside him.
Good. That's what I'm talking about.
He went to pin it onto the strap of the harness. A blue rectangle flickered into existence in front of him. Doakes staggered back, hand going automatically to his holster.
The hell?
The screen hovered, transparent, glowing softly, lines of script scrolling up like a holographic clipboard. He squinted. Not stats, not levels, no strength score, no mana, no RPG garbage, just text.
Badge recognition active. Authorized identity. Lawful investigative authority. Access privileges granted.
He scrolled.
Human kingdoms. Full inner city jurisdiction. Elven realms. Conditional passage. Dwarven holds. Recognized authority. Beastkin tribes. Negotiable. Hierarchical all-born faction. TBD. Demonic territories. Restricted.
Doakes blinked.
So I'm basically a roaming detective with diplomatic clearance.
He scrolled further.
Official title. Translated. Wandering Adjudicator of the Unified Races.
Man, why does that sound like some fancy-ass anime version of Internal Affairs?
He closed the screen with a swipe. It flickered and vanished. He shook his head.
All right, so that pencil-pushing overseer did give me some kind of cheat code. Bureaucratic cheat code. Figures.
Doakes cracked his knuckles.
Bet that sneaky bitch put something else in me. Let's see.
He dropped to the ground and started doing push-ups. 1, 2, 10, 20, 50. Each one felt like nothing, like pressing against pillows. His muscles responded instantly. No strain, no burn, no fatigue. He stood.
That ain't normal. Not even for me.
He spotted a nearby pine tree. Big, thick trunk. Probably weighed a couple thousand pounds.
I bet top of the human curve means something different in Fantasyland.
He stepped up to it, cocked back, and drove a clean, straight punch into the trunk. Bark exploded outward. The whole tree shook violently. Doakes pulled his fist back, staring at the crater he'd just made.
I'll be damned.
He planted both hands against the trunk, took a breath, and lifted. The tree came up. Roots tearing from the ground, soil cascading off the trunk, the whole thing rising like it weighed no more than a stack of paper. Doakes held it overhead for a second.
Hell of a loophole. Now that I think about it, I may have been at a major disadvantage without this enhanced human Captain America-ass shit.
He lowered the tree and let it drop with a thud that sent dirt flying. He wiped his hands on his jeans, breathing steady. Then he smiled. Not wide, not warm, but satisfied.
This'll do. This'll do just fine. No idea where to start, though. Guess I'll hoof it for a while.
Chapter 3. City of First Impressions. The forest didn't fight him. It just refused to end. For the last hour, Doakes had been hacking through undergrowth that smelled like rotting orchids and humidity. He was sweating through his shirt. His boots were caked in mud that looked suspiciously like shit, and a cloud of gnats was trying to colonize his ears. He ripped a vine away from his tactical vest with a grunt, snapping the wood like it was dry pasta. The strength upgrade was nice, but it didn't stop the bugs.
Goddamn tempered rainforest bullshit. If I see one more fern, I'm burning this shit down.
He pushed through a final, dense thicket of waxy leaves and stumbled onto hard-packed dirt. He stopped. He blinked the sweat out of his eyes.
Well, that's where the budget went.
In the distance, rising out of the valley floor like a gleaming white tooth, was the city. It was sickeningly perfect. Massive walls of pale stone, seamless and smooth, circled a sprawl of towers that caught the afternoon sun. Gold-leafed domes, suspension bridges that defied gravity, and banners snapping in the wind. It looked like a rendering for a gated community that cost $10 million a month. But Doakes didn't look at the towers. He looked at the perimeter. Outside the pristine white walls, a shantytown of brown tents and wooden shacks clung to the stone like barnacles. Smoke rose from cookfires in the mud, contrasting sharply with the magical lights flickering in the high towers above.
Beaux-Arts Center, favela outskirts. Classic.
He adjusted the heavy leather straps of his makeshift shoulder rig. The revolver, that big, ugly piece of iron, dug comfortably into his ribs. He checked the Miami Metro badge pinned to the harness strap, ensuring it was visible, then started walking. The main gate was a choke point. A massive archway of carved marble and steel funneled travelers into a claustrophobic tunnel. The line stretched back a quarter-mile. Wagons, exhausted families carrying bundles, merchants sweating in velvet, and farmers with livestock. It wasn't moving. Doakes walked down the flank of the line, ignoring the glares. He could hear the low hum of misery.
Papers aren't right. They changed the seal on Tuesday. They're gonna turn us back.
Just pay the surtax.
With what money?
Doakes kept moving. Up ahead, the bottleneck was intentional. A procession of robed figures, gold masks, incense burners, self-importance radiating off them in waves, was cutting the line. They walked slowly, forcing the guards to halt the peasants so the VIPs could glide through. Doakes stopped a few yards from the gate. He watched a guard in full plate armor shove a tired-looking man back into the dirt.
Priority clearance for the Guild of Antiquities. Hold the line. No entry until the procession clears.
We've been waiting 3 days.
Complaint noted. Further disruption will result in visa revocation.
Doakes felt that familiar itch in his jaw. The one he used to get when he saw a patrol car parked in a handicap spot while the officers grabbed donuts.
Unfucking believable.
He stepped out of the periphery and walked straight toward the gate.
Hold. The gate is closed until the conclave has...
Doakes didn't slow down. He didn't yell. He just reached into his vest and unclipped the badge from his harness. He held it up. The sun hit the metal. The engraving, Miami Metro PD, shimmered, the adjudicator's seal overlay flickering into existence for anyone looking with magic sight. The guard stopped. He didn't just freeze, he flinched. It was the reaction of a man who realizes he has just pulled a gun on a federal agent.
Versalothran, I did not register your approach. My logs will show. I was following standard prioritization protocol.
Save the report. You got 1,000 people backed up here while these guys playing dress-up take a stroll. You think that's efficient?
The Guild has a Tier 2 transit mandate, sir. I cannot.
Open the lane.
Doakes didn't ask. The guard looked at the guild procession, then back at the badge. Fear won.
Clear the lane. Move. Make way for the adjudicator. Open the secondary gates.
The other guards scrambled. The heavy timber doors groaned open. The crowd of travelers surged forward, looking confused but grateful. Doakes clipped the badge back onto his shoulder rig and walked past the guard without looking at him.
Where's the conclave?
Center District, sir. The Dome of Accord. You can't miss it.
The interior of the city was quieter. It was the quiet of money. The streets were paved with seamless stone. No trash, no beggars. The people here moved with purpose, dressed in silks and tailored leather. But the air felt tight. Eyes darted. Conversations hushed when a patrol of armored knights marched past. Doakes navigated toward the center, following the skyline. He reached a massive plaza dominated by a domed building that looked like the U.S. Capitol had sex with a cathedral. But the stairs weren't empty. A crowd of about 200 people, mostly elves and humans, dressed in working-class tunics, was kneeling on the marble steps. They weren't shouting. They weren't rioting. They were holding up identical strips of white cloth. Facing them stood a line of peacekeepers, heavily armored soldiers with faceplates that showed no features. Behind the soldiers stood 3 mages, their hands glowing with a soft, humming light. Doakes stopped, leaning against a pillar to watch, his hand drifting instinctively toward the grip of the revolver under his arm. A man in a velvet sash stepped out from the conclave doors. He didn't shout. His voice was magically amplified, booming across the plaza with terrifying clarity.
Petition 4 Alpha is denied. The conclave has determined that wage restructuring would destabilize the grain market. The current rates remain protected under the Stability Act.
The crowd murmured. A woman in the front row stood up.
We cannot feed our...
The mage behind the peacekeepers flicked a finger. The woman's voice simply cut out. Her mouth moved, she screamed, but no sound emerged. Silence.
Disruption of the peace. Remove the agitator. Process the rest. The plaza must be clear for the evening session.
2 peacekeepers moved forward. They didn't strike her. They simply grabbed her arms and dragged her away. She kicked and fought, silently screaming, as the rest of the crowd stayed kneeling, too terrified to move. Doakes watched the woman get dragged into a side wagon. He watched the mage lower his hand, looking bored. Doakes took a slow breath, feeling the cold weight of the badge against his chest.
Yeah, I know exactly what kind of town this is.